Urza cast as Dr. Weird from the early episodes of Aqua Teen Hunger Force would be freaking fantastic.
I'm not going to argue it. Today, we are not draft beering, which you probably already know because I'm sure we didn't post this as draft beer.
No, we should post it as draft beer, no wait, psych.
Or
yeah, no, this is just John and I again because Bob. I think he's been doing a little bit too much drinking, not at draft beer.
Yep, and so
no Bob.
Yeah. Well, he's probably off doing something far more rewarding, or
he'd probably argue that about halfway through.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure he would rather be here, but he's not. So
we're gonna do this because we've only got, well, barring some like a comet crushing something that in some way allows us to play another game.
Right.
This will be the last all
triple
besieged.
And I don't like going all in on formats that don't really exist. It exists for just the release week, but it is a good way to get cards from that set. And whenever you're drafting a triple booster of one of the smaller sets, it's fun because you have a legitimate chance of getting 5 Tine Shrikes or
oh yeah.
Or 8 Shriekhorns, or you can.
Oh yeah, that guy that we played in the last one, where he had 7 Shriekhorns and a Decimator Web.
Yep, he had a very good chance of milling people.
Yeah, he came 2 cards away on us.
Yep. So that's what I mean. Yeah, it's goofy and it's not real practical for the long run, but if you're not having fun with the game, then
well, and who cares, right?
Right.
I mean, it is in the grand scheme of things is one form of I'm buying 3 virtual packs better than a different version.
Right. Either way, it's a way to burn money, and so we have to enjoy it. Okay, this is.
Well, I don't like the magnetic mine within the context of the setting.
Knowledge pool.
Oh, is that a knowledge pool? I don't like that one either.
No. Really, it's not a great opening pack.
Wow, no, that's not a not great opening pack. That's a pretty awful opening pack.
My eyes have been drawn to possibly the Relic Warder.
Sure.
Possibly Gore Vassal, possibly the Scourge Servant, possibly the Tangle Mantis.
Are we probably going to go Infect?
I don't know. We
like Infect.
Yeah, a lot of times it does happen. But if we go Infect, we'll probably go with white. And
how would we take the Scourge Servant?
Just okay.
I mean,
we're running out of time, so we might as well. Here.
Wow. Well, I like the Pierce Strider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boar would certainly yell at us for instantaneously abandoning Infect.
Right. I like Morbid Plunder a lot.
Yeah. I know you don't like the Fire Exchange Digester, but...
Right. It's the only Infector there. But I have never... In this format, I don't have trouble picking up enough Infectors.
True.
And with the Plunder, the great thing about that is... Infectors die. That's just the way they are. They're weak. They get used up. But if you can bring back 2 of them to do it again...
I agree. I have no problem with that. That's fine. I hate passing Pierce Strider, though.
Yeah.
Another Mirror Welder. Oh, dude, you could totally weld a Mirror Welder to a Mirror Welder.
We would have the ability. I'm not sure we would want to. Priest of Norn, Copper Carapace, both really good. And in fact, I am pushing towards Priest of Norn.
I have no problem with that.
Um,
I know you like the Priest of Norn. I've seen good things from it.
yeah.
Do you want to even like even better, though?
What?
A Priest of Norn with a copper carapace.
Right. If we could get both of those. Although you can't block with it,
Oh,
which takes
well,
away the vigilant part. But
Yeah.
it does make him awfully hard to kill.
Bear Turbine. I would say probably either the Keepers or the Pistis Strike. Though a Flenser might. While I know that you and Bob are not real down with the Flenser might, if we can get some equipment to attach to it, a 3/3 life-linking Infector
Yeah.
suddenly is not so bad.
I am pushed towards Turbine mostly because we
Have been chumped by it before.
Yeah, we're unable to get past its chumpiness, but you make the pick. There's only 8 seconds
just take
left.
the Turbine.
Here, probably the Copper Carapace, just because of how huge equipment is on Infectors.
Fair enough.
And if we have things like that, then the Flenser Might gets considerably more
Sure.
powerful.
Fair enough.
There's the Magnetic Mine that we still don't really like. Oh, Virulent Wound.
Yeah, easily.
Yep. I mean, anything that can do reoccurring proliferate is also a consideration, but
If it had Infect,
yeah.
it'd be gone already. But
Well, there's our little flying buddy.
yeah, I don't see us not taking the Tine Strike. I mean,
Yeah. It's just gonna happen.
yeah.
And here, probably the Flenser Might.
Yeah, probably the Flenser might. Because, well,
I mean, the Mirror Sire is also a chump
yep.
type of a thing, but it's at least limited in time.
Apparently we were right. Apparently the knowledge pool,
It's pretty lousy.
yeah.
Maybe the Gore Vassal. I mean, it's spotty removal, but
Sure. It also regenerates.
Yeah.
I could also see taking the green Mountain Walker just because then you can walk.
right,
But
in case we get into green or in case we're playing against green.
pick accepted. Apparently this current one is... Oh, there we go. Oh, did I actually just see that? Oh, Unnatural Predation.
What? Oh. Yeah, probably. I mean, we may not even play any of those colors, but here... I like Ardent Recruit, except you never can get enough artifacts in Triple Besiege to be legitimate.
Well, I mean, if you draft it expressly for it.
Yeah.
Sweet, another Unnatural Predation.
I'm almost tempted to take the creature over because what do we trample with? We don't have any...
It's still a +1.
Yeah, but... Are we going to be playing green?
Just click something, dude.
Well,
You do, oh my god!
it doesn't matter. None of those cards are making our deck.
The Natural Predation might have made our deck.
I don't think so. I'm not sure we're playing green. I mean, unless we start getting some significant green creatures, there's really no
We could
room.
splash green just for the trample ability.
But there's no...
There's
like a 3/3 Infector, which
a 3/3 with a Copper Carapace is a 5/5. That's worth making
Yes.
a 6/6 to trample.
Yes, then it does start getting closer. Okay, I say
Flesh Eater Imp.
I say we don't take the Phyrexian Rebirth.
You know what? I am going to go with you on this one because it sucked last time.
Because we don't know how to use it. Someone out there is going to use it and use it well.
And they're going to kill our creature. We need to have something that... We need to have something to kill the creature that thing generates.
Right.
We should set this as our
goal.
As our goal.
But what we hope is that they never were able to get that off because our Flesh Eater Imp has killed them.
Yes.
Before that.
By that logic, do we want the Flensermite? Or do we want the Virulent Wound? We probably want the Virulent Wound.
I think we probably want the Virulent Wound. And there's a good chance Flensermite will come around. Like, it is not highly valued.
Alright. Hey, another Virulent Wound. Priest of Norn.
Yep, another Mirror Turbine. Probably the Priest of Norn.
Oh, probably, although I'm sorely tempted to take the Virulent Wound. Just because, well, it's not great removal, but it's removal.
Yeah. I see that. I just think, like... Well, I just like Priest of Norn a lot.
I know. If you want to take the Priest of Norn, that's fine, John.
I think the Priest of... There is a chance the wound will table. Not a great chance again, but look at the cards in this pack.
It's a good pack.
It is a pretty good pack.
It's good, especially with the... I mean, the next person's going to be going, what the hell did they not take a Mirror Turbine for?
Yeah. There were several cards there that people will question, well, why didn't they take this? How good could it have been?
Either the Pistis Strike or the Keepers.
Right.
I like the Keepers because they can block Infectors forever.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think I'd be okay with the Keepers.
Okay.
I think that would make sense. We don't want to come up against it, for sure.
Well, yeah.
And if we do end up playing green, then, and if we're in a mirror match, that's a good way to hold. Here, Scourge Servant.
Yeah.
Got a little more beef. Maybe should switch to the cost sort.
Again, we're a little weak in the twos.
Mm-hmm.
But
is there any other
2-drop Infector?
Well, there's that Plague.
The Plague Mirror.
But that's uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty hard to come by. But are there any others?
I don't know that there are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 3-drops.
Yeah, and a lot of 4-drops.
Yeah.
But you just don't get it like in Scars, where
I mean,
you kind of have your pick. And then here, it's Septic Rats, Flensermite, Divine Offering.
We should probably take the Divine Offering. I hate to pass the Septic Rats, but
yeah, again, Divine Offering, because of the format, and because there are less powerful artifacts here, is a little bit less powerful, but right now we have no...
We have Virulent Wound.
Right, so
yeah,
we probably should take it just in case. We need some sort of artifact.
Well, then it gives you a little life back in the process.
Mm-hmm. And as long as we're not in the mirror match, that's a good thing. And here, the Gargoyle has some...
I could see the Gargoyle, I could see the Plunder, I could see the Gruesome Encore.
Right. I'm thinking Plunder, and not just because it's shiny.
Also because it's shiny.
Yeah.
Although a 4/4 flyer...
Right, yeah. On its own, it can be pretty powerful. But what I like about Plunder is we can...
Have we taken any Pistis Strikes yet? I feel a lot better passing it if we'd taken any Pistis Strike.
we haven't, but...
We should really think about that one.
Yeah, here probably the Rager just because of the card draw on color. Even though it's one card, that can make a difference. Yeah. Plus it gives you something to chump with. Or yes! A late Time Strike.
Nice. Oh, look, the Pistis Strike I was just talking about is taking it we are going to take instead.
Right next to it and not happening.
Flensermite.
Flensermite, yeah. And as we get more of those, we really need to look for some equipment, even if it's somewhat shoddy equipment.
Unnatural predation. I guess we could take the Leonin Sky Hunter.
Yeah, I'd almost take that just so our guys can get through.
It's mostly that with only having 10 points of life against Infect, even a +1 is worth something.
Yes, I mean, from what we
oh wow, that's awesome.
From what we've drawn, I am not playing green at this point.
Fair enough.
And I don't think you splash for.
Oh, I don't know.
For a +1/+1.
Sure, why not? What the fuck, right? Who cares?
I am not buying what you're selling, sir. Now here would be, for me, a more convincing argument as to why you might want to go green.
I like the Rotwolf.
I like the Rotwolf. I like the Scourge Servant. I even like Ichor Wellspring.
Yeah.
I like the Anatomist if you have any chance of playing blue. Not to mention we haven't even talked about Fuel for the Cause this time, but that won a draft for us.
Yeah. I don't see us doing blue.
No.
We haven't been drafting blue. We really would have need to be looking more thoroughly at that earlier.
Right.
I would say either... Okay, if you want to go into green, take the Rotwolf. It's a better creature than the
Scourge Servant.
And the Scourge Servant. It's a little card draw. If you're not, then take the... If you're just like, we aren't going to play it, take the Scourge Servant. We'll get the beef.
We'll take the chance. Who knows? I mean, we have 14 more cards to see whether or not we actually want to go in green. And there's another Rotwolf, which is a good argument there. Flare Husk even might be a pick above it, though, because like any equipment on a Flying Infector, or any equipment on a Flensermite, or any equipment on a Priest of Norn makes it so much more powerful.
Yeah, there's also another Divine Offering.
Another Divine Offering, another Pierce Strider, another one of those. This Flame Fiend guy is just...
annoying?
Yeah, devastating if someone else plays it. But with all that said, I think...
You're taking the Flare Husk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Seriously, these guys I would not play if I don't have enough equipment.
All right, well then take it.
And that is pushing me in that direction. Now here...
How about a Skin Wing? Would that count as equipment?
Skin Wing would count as equipment, and that's why we're going to take it. Would love to get the Priest of Norn also.
Who knows, maybe you will.
Probably not going to happen, but it might. Into the Core.
I like Into the Core.
Yeah. If you're red...
Which we thoroughly are.
Yeah. We're nowhere near there.
Oh, Blight Widow.
Yep.
I'd say it's either the Blight Widow or the Signal Pest.
I completely concur. And I say Blight Widow.
I think there's a fair chance we're going to be playing green at this point.
Maybe even just splashing it. But yeah.
How did a Spread the Sickness make it this deep?
Yeah. Exactly. And to burn the...
What
was this?
What was in this pack?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're dead. We're dead from this one pack.
Yeah. If that's the leftovers, then they have the...
They have the cream?
Yep.
Oh my god.
They have a handful of bombs. Rager, probably.
Probably. I don't see anything else that really trips my trigger.
Yeah. And Time Strike.
Oh, yeah.
Very undervalued.
Apparently.
Often comes around late. Here, the bad thing about it
is, makes you more vulnerable.
Yeah, it really does make you susceptible. But...
it's either that or the Digester.
Right.
I think if we
Where are we at for infect creatures? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 possibly. What do you think? I'll take the Digester. We were out of time. I'll take another Morbid Plunder. I don't know if we're going to play 3 of them, but I would rather that they're not getting their guys back too.
Sure.
And Tangle Manus.
Probably Tangle Manus.
Yeah.
I guess we could have taken the Concussive Bolt just to not have it out there.
Yeah, it's always kind of a toss-up as to what's most dangerous. Maybe the Razorfield Rhino? I don't know. I don't think any of those are...
Yeah, whatever.
Gonna make someone's deck. And I think they will once Scars comes around.
Yeah, I think so.
But right now, it's... Without the Manamir, it's a slow format. Which I guess actually kind of says, well, why not play a 7 casting cost creature if it's a slow format? But it's quick enough with Infect.
Yeah. Slasher, maybe?
Yeah, probably
Drawshopper? I guess we could have taken the Drawshopper. Or Dross. Ripper. Reaver? Render?
Ripper.
Oh, okay. Knew it was one of those R words.
Now, is there a Drawshopper? Is that
there is a draw?
2/1 that you sacrifice it and it...
No, you sacrifice a creature to give it flying.
Right.
Yeah, I love the fact that you and Bob always say that you sacrifice it to give itself flying. Because the logic of it is fantastic.
Yes.
It's like, yep, I have a 0/0 nothing. Wait, damn.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Okay. I know I want my Virulent Wounds and my Spread the Sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Infectors. Let's get those guys. And these guys. And my equipment. Okay. There's where we are if we don't play green.
Okay.
We're at 11 creatures. We do have...
We probably want to put the Divine Offering in.
Yeah. We do have plenty of other things that are playable.
Sure.
That we could put in to get the last 5 cards.
That said, Rotwolf and Blight Widow are awfully good.
Yes. They are quality infectors. If we
Infectors of quality.
If we went with those... Let's see what the curve would be. Okay, so it'd be a little bit low in the 3 spot, which would make sense to get the Ragers for a card draw.
Sure. Maybe a Morbid Plunder.
And a Plunder. And
That's an odd-looking curve.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks nothing like what our curves usually look like.
No. Well, and I mean, a big part of it is I don't think I've ever built a deck with that many 2-drops, and all of them are Flensermites. And
well, you've built plenty, just not in this format.
Right, in this format, I don't think I have. And Flensermites aren't awesome, but they're not awful either.
You don't even believe it. You're saying it, but you're like, yeah, I feel dirty putting these in my deck.
Well, I'm looking at my Morbid Plunders, and I'm thinking to myself, would I rather get back 2 of something else rather than play 1 of him?
I could see taking out 1 Flensermite and putting in another Morbid Plunder.
I think I could see that too. If we can...
The thing is, if he hits the table fast enough and they don't have an answer because it's slow, he can get a lot of poison in before they do anything to him.
Right. And if you get a Skin Wing on...
A Flensermite.
Anything.
Yeah.
It suddenly becomes anything with Infect becomes very dangerous. Let's see what their recommendation is. Let's see. What I don't like about that is that we want to have a Plains on turn 3.
Sure.
And 4. I would think that we could go down to even 7. Take this up to 6 and this up to 4. Are we only playing 2 green cards?
Yeah.
So we probably don't need 4. And they only require 1 green. So we could probably do that.
Okay.
And the other thing that supports that is our Morbid Plungers will not be played early.
Sure.
We have to get 2 things on the board and get them killed before we're going to cast it. So.
Well, yeah, you know, unless.
Well, yeah, under Dire, I have cast it and brought back 1.
Cast it and no dead creatures. I just cast it to get it out of my hand.
Yep. Didn't want to get killed by the rack or Black Vice. Which
Yeah,
one's one?
Let's see.
Black Vice.
Yeah, it's the Black Vice, I think.
Hurt you for card. I think so. And then the rack was if you had less than 4.
I think so. All I know is that with the way that we played it when we were playing this game so completely wrong originally, the Black Vice, yeah, I had to do the Black Vice because you drew up to 7 cards.
Right.
With the version of the game that we were playing. At the beginning of your turn, you drew up to 7 cards in your hand.
Yep.
So you had to get 3 cards out of your hand before your upkeep in order to not
Avoid
take damage from the Black Vice. And John was the one that had the Black Vice, and so I was constantly pissed.
It was my not so secret weapon. It was a game changer.
Yeah, well, it comes at first turn. Of course, we couldn't tap our land for mana on the first turn they came into play.
Yeah.
But you could put as many land into play as you want.
Magic would be a very different game
if it followed the rules that we, after reading the rules, misinterpreted utterly.
Oh, I gotta stop this. We'll be back with the next video.